Yo, what is good, everyone? Divine Sense Boxing in the building. Salute to you if you're dropping in early. I appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button as soon as you come in the door. Let the people know that we're live. Let the people know that we got a real fight coming up here in just probably about 30 to 45 minutes. The co-main event just started, and then of course we got the main event: Gary Russell Jr. versus Mark Magsayo. So it's very important to like, and then if you're new, subscribe, and then share the video so we can get this fight party started. I appreciate every single one of you. Got my man Yave in the building. Salute to you, Big Dog Willie. Was good. Um, and so you guys know how I do it, man. If you guys have been on the channel when I do live commentary, you guys know how I do it, man. Punch by a punch, everything according to exactly how I see it, non-biased commentary, and I will score the fight round by round. Let you guys know, how I feel like the rounds are playing out, especially for those people who are not able to watch this fight live. I will try to keep it as entertaining as I possibly can, and of course, those who are watching it and you prefer to listen to my commentary in comparison to, the Showtime commentary, then I appreciate you as well for choosing Divine Sense Boxing. We got Bruce Goes Boxing Jazz and more. Good to see you in here, bro. Um, and look, I'm looking forward to this fight. Like I said, the co-main event is about to start, and anytime you listen to me live, for those of you who cannot watch the fight live, it doesn't really matter because you'll be relying on my commentary. But for those who are watching the fight, the latency will be a little bit different. Here on YouTube, I might be a little bit ahead of you, a little bit behind you. So it's important as we go through these fights here that you try not to spoil it for the chat and just rely on my commentary because we will have a handful of people that cannot watch this fight. So they are relying on my, I guess, punch by punch or play by play commentary. Arturo in the building. Good to see you. JJ Saitama, good to see you. I think you're a new subscriber and I appreciate you. Thanks for dropping by. That's me. Good to see you, bro. Thanks for dropping by. Make sure you guys hit that like button as soon as you guys enter the building. Smash that like button. We got to let YouTube know where the real boxing fans are, where the real boxing commentary is, and get this fight party started. If you guys are just joining, the co-main event has just begun, and it looks like it's a rematch situation we got going on here in the co-main event. I got a female referee as well here in this co-main event. Haven't seen that in a while. Deborah Barnes is her name. So we got Matias and Anyanan, the second. Rematch fight here in the co-main event. Round one just started. And right after this fight, of course, will be the main event. This is a 12-round bout here. The co-main event is a 12-round bout. So depending on how it all works out, this could be, 10 minutes or it could be 45 minutes. We'll just have to wait and see. For those of you who are here in the chat, if you are not watching the fight live, please let me know here in the chat so I have an idea of how many people are just listening into the commentary who are not able to listen to the watch the fight live. Excuse me. It helps me kind of segue into how I want to do the commentary tonight. That's me says that last ref was a disgrace, probably fired on site after that disgrace. Yeah, I missed it. I wasn't able to watch the fight just before this co-main event. I came in and got my stream going probably right at the end when they announced the scorecards. It seemed like there was some controversy. There were, I think it ended in a draw, but then I saw some people chatting about the referee doing some crazy shit. So I don't know what happened. I'll have to go back and watch it. Big Dog, I'm not watching Fight Live. Whoa, shit. My man's at work, Big Dog Willie. So I appreciate you, Big Dog, for jumping in here and listening to Divine Sense commentary, man. I will, do my best to give you guys, like I said, man, punch by punch entertainment here on YouTube. And like I said, I'll be scoring the fight live. And I think people really do enjoy that because it's always cool to kind of compare scorecards as we go along. Now, also, there is a poll here in the chat. Make sure that you guys vote in the poll. Let the people know what you think about this main event. And I got all 4 options for you right there in the poll. So Gary Russell Jr. By decision, Gary Russell Jr. by KO or TKO, Mark Magsayo by decision, or Mark Magsayo via KO or TKO. So make sure you let your voice be heard in that vote or in that poll. I will close and end the poll probably during the ring walks of the main event. So this is your opportunity to get your vote in. Big dog, no trolls yet. Hey, but they're coming, bro. They're coming. I have buckled my seatbelt in. I hope everyone else has, because once this main event starts, it's going to get spicy in here. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. All right, there's a lot of people talking about how Magsayo's going to pull the upset. So, there's going to be a lot of Magsayo fans jumping in here, guaranteed. I've got a lot of new subscribers here over the past 2 weeks or so since I made my prediction video of this fight. And a lot of them happen to be Magsayo fans, which is fine. But we're going to see how the reception really is during the fight. Now, of course, we have heard about possible injuries of Gary Russell Jr., which has obviously increased the confidence of Mark Magsayo fans leading into this fight. Is he injured? Yes, no. He said that he was. The extent of the injury, we don't really know. Only Gary Russell Jr. knows that. And he didn't make weigh-in on the first attempt. It took him a second attempt to make weight. I personally don't really make too much of a big deal of that. It happens quite often in boxing, especially in the lower weight classes, because your body changes as you get older. And a couple of a pound or a half a pound or something like that, really not a big deal for professional fighters. They know how to deal with those situations. So I'm more concerned about, a possible injury that may or may not affect him in this fight, because like I stated in my official prediction and breakdown video of that fight, is the way that Gary Russell Jr. wins this fight is purely based on skill. There's no point of trying to go toe to toe with Mark, trying to see who can hit harder. I don't think he'll do that, and we know that he shouldn't do that. So, in order to use all of his tools and his abilities, he needs to be healthy. Right? He's got to be able to move his feet. He's got to be able to use his reflexes and all those different things to handle a young bull like Mark Magsayo, who's coming in here determined, and he wants to make a name for himself. I believe he's going to bring it all into the ring, guaranteed. So it makes me a little bit worried, not because I really necessarily have a dog in this fight, but I just don't want any BS after the fight. You know what I mean? I don't want none of if Mark Magsayo wins this fight by upset, by KO or TKO, I don't want people to, Gary Russell wasn't healthy, this, that, and whatever, because it just taints a victory. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's like anytime a fighter goes into a fight who is potentially injured, it always leaves room for speculation and an opportunity to discredit a victory. It happens all the time. And it's one of those double-edged sword situations, right? Because on one side, you're like, well, you want to give credit to a man who is injured but still willing to get in the ring, because if not, then the fight is postponed, and then promoters lose money, the networks lose money, the fans get upset. So on that hand, it's like, all right, he could have ducked, he could have said no, he could have made excuses, but he stepped into the ring. But on the other end of things, you put yourself in a vulnerable situation. If you're not healthy, you're not giving yourself the best opportunity to win the fight. And we'll just have to see if Russell Jr. loses this fight tonight. What will he say post fight? Is he gonna give Mark credit, or is he gonna say I was injured and I wasn't my best? We'll have to see. But sometimes fighters be on that BS, and I'm saying, like, fighters say, "Oh, my hand was hurt, my ankle was hurt, my neck was hurt." It's happened so many times, but then fight night comes, adrenaline starts pumping, and you don't feel that pain anymore, and you go in there and get the job done. Then you can address those injuries after the fight. It just depends, what the injury is and the extent of the injury, and we've seen both ends of that, right? Yuri Foreman, if you guys remember who he was, he suffered a bad knee injury, was battling with this knee injury, and it actually did affect him in the fight, in one of his fights, where he just couldn't move his leg anymore, and he ultimately got stopped. But we've also seen fighters where they've had hand injuries and other injuries in sparring or whatever it may be leading in, and they still get in there and get the job done. So I think that it makes the fight a little bit more interesting personally. I really do. I really do. Um, yeah, Arturo, I appreciate you guys, man. In fact, smash that like button, get subscribed if you're new, stay a part of the conversation. Um, for tonight's live, you got to subscribe in order to comment. So if you're watching right now and you can't comment, that's the way I construct it here, because we got to have a way to filter out the trolls. And what I mean trolls is not boxing fans, trolls that want to come in here, stir up controversy, use blatantly disrespectful language and things like that. So it's just a small little vetting process that I have. But if you are indeed a true boxing fan, wait the time limit, subscribe, and then you'll be free to comment. My man Bruce says, what if Gary wants out of his PBC contract? A loss is a way to it. That's a very good point by my man Bruce as well. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm definitely on the edge of my seat for various of different reasons, not just because stylistically this fight is interesting, a boxer, puncher slash brawler against a real pure boxer with a lot of talent. Anytime you have these two styles match up, you're like, yeah, like this is something that's going to be entertaining. But you got injuries, you got the missed weight, you got some rumblings about Gary wanting to leave PBC. And so it makes you like, oh shit, like, okay, well, are we gonna get a real fight? Are we gonna get a real fight? Yave trolls talk too much shit, man. They can't even roast right. Can't even roast right. Yeah, man. Um, I remember Yave when you were in here when I went live right after the Rigondeaux fight against the other Filipino fighter. His name is slipping my mind right now. Um, and people went crazy in that chat. People went crazy in that chat, just really attacking Rigondeaux like crazy. So I learned my lesson from that fight and from that live stream rather. And so we got to have a little bit of a standard going forward to try to keep those people out, because those people aren't boxing fans. They're a fan of a particular fighter, or they're a fan of their country. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, there's no real knowledge and appreciation of the sport, and so we don't have time for that shit over here on Divine Sense Boxing. JJ Saitama, yeah, hey bro, I appreciate you, bro. Um, that's how I do it. Anytime I do a fight breakdown, man, this co-main event, this dude, it was like round 3, and he's already busted up. Nose busted, eyes busted. I'm talking about Anyan here. But yeah, you know, I try to keep it as unbiased as I possibly can and stay straight down the middle, offer you the pros and cons of both fighters, and in the end, give you my prediction on how I see it. You know what I mean? And that's what most people, when they go around YouTube and they want to listen to uh, anybody talking about a fight, the real thing that they really care about is the prediction, right? It's like, who you picking? But I'd like to let you guys know on why I pick something. It's not as easy as like, oh, well, I think he's too fast, so I think he's going to win. Or, oh, he's too strong, so I think he's going to win. Boxing is much more intricate than that, right? There's so many fine, small details that you have to consider. Who they fought, how they fought them, last time they fought, you know, uh, are they a titleist or are they a real champion? Do they have a pedigree? Then you break down the skills, right? What they offer, what they bring to the table, the stylistic point of view, the sweet science, right? Break that down, let people know. Because a lot of people have an idea, like, because they're persuaded probably by their peers or by other boxing channels out here. And so when you offer a different perspective and you really dissect it, people are like, man, shit, I didn't even think about it that way. Maybe I need to be more careful on my prediction, especially if you're going to drop money on something. If you're a person who likes to bet, and I've already had people on that video of this fight, my prediction and breakdown video of this fight. I've had several people go in the comment section and say, I put 1,000 on Magsayo. I put 500 on Magsayo. I put 2,000 on Magsayo. Yeah, he's the underdog. So if you get your prediction right, you're gonna cash out. But I hope that you did your research. I really, really do, for the sake of your pocket. You know what I mean? Because if I were to bet, and I don't do it very often, very rarely do I do it, but when I do, I spend a lot of time looking at the fighter and the fight itself and breaking it down before I make a prediction like that. But I'm one of those very strategic type people. I don't like to waste $5. You know what I mean? If I'm very like, yeah, if I'm gonna bet 5, I'm trying to get 10 back. I ain't trying to bet 5 and just lose 5. That's just me. And when you get really, really close fights, I don't really bet because it's just too unpredictable. But there are times where I'm like extremely, extremely confident, like Usyk and Joshua. I bet on that fight. And I made some nice money on that fight because I was extremely confident that Usyk was going to beat Joshua. I didn't play into the hype train of all the Anthony Joshua fans, even though they were coming to my channel, calling me all kinds of names and whatnot. I didn't play into it. I knew Usyk was going to win, and he did win in grand fashion. So that's an example. I'm just going to check into the co-main event here. Matias versus Anyan. If you guys don't know, this is a rematch. I'm coming to the end of the 4th round. Anyan has taken some damage. He's got some blood dripping from his nose. His eyes a bit busted. Oh, they're interviewing Boots Ennis right now. I'll let you guys know what he says for those who can't watch. They asked him, are you ready for a title at 147? What do you want to do? He says, I feel like I'm ready for the title. 2022 will be a big year for me. And they asked, do you think fighters are avoiding you? And he said, I don't think they can avoid me if I'm the number 1 contender. It's cool to see. It's cool to see Boots there, man. It really is, because that's a guy who pays attention, shows up to fights, and is really a student of the game. I always like to see fighters attend fights because it really kind of shows their interest on the sport of boxing, and like I said, being a student of the game, and always seizing an opportunity to speak to people and let people know, what they're about. And I've always appreciated that. Arturo, man. Hey, man, you know how I get down over here. You've been following me for a while, bro. Yeah, another thing too is a lot of people have been talking about Gary Russell's inactivity as a fought in 2 years or nearly 2 years. So that's another talking point. Gary's out there saying it doesn't matter. I'm active all the time. I'm in shape all the time. I'm in the gym all the time. And okay, cool. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he is about boxing and he is serious about, being disciplined, about keeping his body in shape. But as we all know, like, there's a big difference between sparring and actual having actual real fights, right? But we're really gonna see a lot in this fight. We're gonna see, so I was talking about how what will the uh what will the language be and the reception be for Mark Magsayo if he pulls the upset. But to the contrary, what's the language and the reception going to be for Gary Russell Jr. if he proves that he still got it? You know what I mean? And he comes in there and put on a boxing clinic. Like I've predicted, my official prediction is Gary Russell Jr. by a 12-round decision. Pretty entertaining fight. Some moments here and there, but I feel like Gary Russell should win the fight comfortably. And if he does that, then are people gonna give him his flowers, right? Are people gonna say, like, damn, like you said you were injured, but yet you performed. You were inactive, but yet you performed. And there's been a lot of people. I was listening to a dude on a live stream yesterday saying that Gary Russell Jr.'s resume ain't shit. Yeah, he's a champion. He's defended his title 5 times, but he ain't fought nobody. He ain't nothing. And so there's people out there that think that this is like a real, true test against Mark Magsayo. Not saying that Mark Magsayo has a amazing resume either. I mean, let's keep it 100 here. He doesn't. He's had some eye-catching victories and knockouts, and the dude definitely has power. But it's not like he's coming in and he's beating a bunch of contenders or former champions or anything like that. So this is what makes this fight fairly even, resume wise and stylistic wise, and Gary being the favorite but supposedly injured. So damn, this is going to be crazy one, I think. Vanos Crew Clips, bro, what's good, man? It's been a while since I see you in the chat. He says, Devon, what do you think of the Zone's boxing schedule? That's a good question. I get a little bit, I don't want to say frustrated, but maybe confused. Like, you got the Zone, you got PBC, you got Showtime, you got Top Rank, and it just seems like a lot of different hands in the honeypot in general. And I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but I just feel like and then now you have Trill too, right? Or Triller or whatever the hell it's called. They're trying to get in the mix and do professional fights. And I just feel like I think it kind of makes it difficult to make big fights in general. But as far as the schedule, I think the Zone is trying to be consistent. In my honest opinion, I think they're trying to be consistent and put on big fights every other 2 or 3 months, as much as they possibly can. But I just don't know, with all these different promotional companies and broadcasting companies that are all getting their hands into the honeypot. Like, is it good for boxing or bad for boxing? Does it make it more difficult to make these big fights happen? I mean, we look back at Mayweather Pacquiao, right? It was like Top Rank and Mayweather Promotions, and they don't want to do business with one another. And Top Rank is notorious of making fight that are only like inside, like in-house fights, right? I mean, they're notorious for it. Only top-ranked fighters fight top-ranked fighters. But there's a lot of great fighters over at PBC. There's some great fighters over at DAZN. So when you continue, I mean, somebody needs to lead the way, in my opinion, to show that, yeah, you can have your own company and operate within your own company, make money and be successful, but there's a time to reach across the aisle and get shit done. When there's a big fight that needs to happen, we can make it happen. Somebody has to lead the way. Right now, it's always a tug of war. We wait 2 or 3 years. Then the fighters get caught up in that, right? They learn how promotional companies operate, right? So they're like, oh, that's how they do it. Cool. So, well, I'm going to start tweeting and going on Instagram and whatnot and letting people know that I will only take a 60-40 or a 70-30. And they start playing this percentage game and how much they're worth and how much they're willing to take. Something that fighters never really did in the past and only promotional companies would talk about behind the scenes. But it's much, much different now. It's much different now. Fighters now are getting into the percentages and talking about their value and things like that. So, yeah, I don't typically get into the politics of boxing too much. It's a pet peeve of mine, and I try to keep it just about fights. These two guys in the co-main event, it's starting to heat up. A lot of power shots by both guys, but we are creeping closer to the main event. We're not quite there yet. Soon as you enter the building, smash that like button. You guys know the drill. You guys know the drill. We got over 20 people in here, which means that we should have over 20 likes. Don't forget to vote in the poll. There's a live poll going on. Let the people know who you think's going to win this fight. And I always find it funny. I got 40 votes already, but only 16 likes on the video. You know, that's how they do me, right? They come in, they peeking in, and they want to just vote in the poll and then roll out. But, you know, like I said, there are boxing fans and then there are fans of particular fighters. And that's just the way it is. But I will end this poll during the ring walks of the main event. So make sure you get your final vote in there. Right now, as you can see in the poll, the votes for Mark Magsayo to win by KO or TKO is taking over. It is on the rise. It is 44% in favor of the upset by KO TKO, which is quite surprising to me. It's quite surprising to see that. And let's see how that holds up as we continue to creep closer to the main event and people continue to filter in here. I think a lot of people do come in and check in just to see, you know, is it the main event yet or not? And then roll out and possibly come back once the main event starts. So we are in round 7 of the co-main event. The unofficial scorecard by Steve Farhood has Matias up 59 to 55. So that'll be 5 rounds to 1 going into the 7th now. These two guys are just fighting on the inside the whole time. Just literally just exchanging punches. Ooh, Anyan, man. He's starting to get some nasty uppercuts. So right now, Matias is up according to the unofficial scorecard, and I'm just kind of listening in as I'm speaking to you guys. I've been kind of listening as well. Ooh. Matias is starting to land a couple big right hands. I'll be surprised if this goes 12. Ooh. 3-piece by Matias. A minute left here in the 7th round of this co-main event. There you go. That's how you do. You got a dude hurt. You start going to the body, man. Anyan is just getting tagged, bro. He's just taking it. Just taking it. And he is leaking. Anyan is leaking. Oh, he just took another 3-piece. The referee watching this shit closely. 20 seconds left of the 7th round. Anyan's got Matias on the ropes, but he's just been tagged up. Oh, nice pivot. Nice pivot by Matias right there. Oh. Damn. End of the 7th round. This guy, dude, he's starting to get swollen. Not only is he bleeding and cut up, but he's starting to get really swollen as well. I don't think this fight's going to go 12, man. But they're getting ready to go to the 8th round, so we're starting to creep closer to the main event. This is the co-main event. If you're just joining, this is the co-main event that we're watching right now live, and then it will be the main event. Gary Russell Jr. versus Mark Magsayo. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Stay a part of the conversation. You have to subscribe in order to comment. That's how we make sure that we get real boxing fans in here. Despite who you're going for, it doesn't matter. That's what we want. Hit that like button. Every like matters. That lets the people know that we're having a fight party here, and we're here doing live commentary. So make sure you hit that like button. We got 35 people. We should have 35 likes. Nitty G, what's good? Good to see you. We are now going into, let's see here, round 8 of the co-main event. Matias, Anyan, I haven't been scoring the fight, but I got Matias winning this for the rounds that I have watched. He's just peppering Anyan with combinations. Anyan, though, he's a tough dude, man. Every once in a while, he'll throw a big looping right hand to let the referee know that he's still in the fight. The referee is definitely watching closely. Who's a female referee, by the way, for those people who can't watch the fight live. Anyan is leaking. If I'm Matias, I just start going to the body. You've already busted him up to the face. He's starting to get numb to it, I think, and it just start ripping to that body, and eventually he'll lower those hands, and then you just land something over the top. I think you could end it, but damn, Matias is like tripling up left hooks. Oh, another left hook right behind the ear. Anyan is tough. But you can see, I start to see his power starting to deplete a bit. He was landing big looping shots, that thudding hard shots earlier, but now I'm seeing that power start to slowly dissipate. And Matias has got a little bit tighter defense now. He was getting hit with looping shots, but he's made adjustments. A minute left here in the 8th round, 8 of 12, co-main event. Brock, what's good, bro? Thanks for dropping by, man. Bruce, yeah, it is, man. Very entertaining. I'm kind of like, oh, shit. Like, I was over here talking, and I'm like, man, I'm missing a good fight. So I'm watching now. So if I go silent a little bit, or I go quiet, it's just because I'm like watching this fight here as we get ready to finish this 8th round. I mean, this whole fight has pretty much been on the inside the whole time. Just on the inside. No outside boxing. Toe-to-toe. Matias has got a nice little shoulder roll, though, on the inside. Who's kind of helping him slip shots. But his jab has been really effective even on the inside. And that's the end of the 8th. Nice big exchange by both fighters there at the end of the round, the 8th. So we're creeping closer to this main event. We got over 100. We're over at 300 people in now. So people are starting to come in, people. People are starting to come in and watch this main event. Gary Russell Jr. versus Mark Magsayo. Hit that like button. That's the least you can do, right? Come in, hit the like button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you want to be involved in the chat as we get started, then make sure you subscribe and stay a part of the conversation. Black Alpha, salute to you. Thanks for dropping by. Always good to see you in the chat. I got my man Jeffrey H. Lopez in the building. DOGG 215 also in the building. Salute to you, sir. Thanks for dropping by. Get those likes all the way up. All the way up. People are starting to pump in here. Mangus Allen, I appreciate you. Y'all hear from my man Mangus Allen right here. Highlight that comment. You know, we put a lot of work into this. We put a lot of dedication into this. We put a lot of passion into this. The least you can do is hit that like button, man. It's free. Get the likes all the way up. Let the people know we're in here. Real boxing fans are in here. We got a poll going. Make sure you vote in that poll. I will end this poll during the ring walks of the main event. So let your voice be heard. We still got Mark Magsayo. 57% of the people voting in the poll is saying Mark Magsayo is going to win this by KO or TKO. So we have a lot of people going for this upset. A lot of people going for this upset. Yeah, DOGG, that's what's up. This should be automatic. I'm the same. I go to people's place, man. It's automatic. Like, you know, if you respect and like someone's content, that's what you should do. You know, even if you don't agree, that's the way we go. Well, Mangus Allen, that's how they do me, bro. That's how they do me out here. That's how they do me. PGH Big Dog in the building, you know. But, you know, the loyal subscribers, man, they show that loyalty. At the very least, I don't know how we can't get at least 100 likes. But it is what it is, man. We're going to do what we do out here. Those who appreciate will appreciate. We're creeping closer, man. We're creeping closer to that main event. Creeping closer. Looking forward to it. I can feel the excitement, right? Heart rate going up a little bit. We are in round 9 of the co-main event. It's been a pretty damn good co-main event. I can't deny it. We got Matias versus Anyan for those who are not able to watch live. I appreciate you choosing Divine Sense Boxing as the person to provide you with the commentary. It is my pleasure. Just do me a favor and hit that like button. It means a lot. This co-main event is really starting to get spicy. 9 of 12. It's been toe-to-toe the entire time. If you guys don't know, Matias and Anyan, this is a rematch. So they know each other. Neither one wants to lose. Anyan is pretty busted up. Swollen above his left eye and right eye. Blood leaking out of the nose, out of the eyes. But he continues to stay in there. But I feel like he's starting to have trouble seeing the punches coming more and more as those eyes continue to swell up. But Matias, you know, ooh, whoa, left hook by Matias, and down goes Anyan. He gets up, 7, 8 count. The referee telling him to follow her, and he does it. And I think the round was over. Round over. Wow. The referee gave him a lot of time. A lot of time to recover from that. But, wow. What a knockdown, man. It was like chopping down a big tree, you know? And Matias was just chopping away, and finally caught him with the left hook. But what I said earlier, he was tripling up with that left hook. Bop, 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 bop. Left hook tripling up, man. And finally landed one that hit him on the button. So now the referee's in the corner now to see if they want to continue. She did give him a lot of time to recover. But he is busted up. Fight doctor just said no. He's out of it. And I think they're going to call it. I think they're going to stop it. Yeah, they stopped it. That is it. Co-main event is over. Matias, I didn't watch every second of every round, but I did watch a fair amount of it. And Matias was looking very, very good. Very, very good. NZ Uncovered, what's up, bro? He says, just a word of advice to you. Try to keep us updated about the fight times when you can. I came here from Showbiz Channel, got sick of him talking crap and not keeping us informed. Yeah, no doubt, man. I try to do my very best. I'm going to give you guys, if you guys don't know me, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Divine Sense Boxing. This is what I do, give live commentary, punch by punch commentary. I will score the fight round by round. I will give you guys your entertainment and let you guys know how I see it. The co-main event just finished by stoppage. And right after this, we have the main event. All right. Right after this, we have that main event. At any point, you want to show some love to the channel, do a donation. Super chat is the easiest way to do it. And that just, helps motivate me to do what I do. So I appreciate you. But you can do something else that's free, which is hit that like button, which is hit that subscribe button. Stay a part of the conversation. That is free. That doesn't cost you a thing. Okay? So make sure you do that. And this place right here, the kingdom of Divine Sense Boxing, is for real boxing fans. None of the BS, none of the controversy, none of that shit. We keep it real, raw, and authentic here. So just waiting for the final scorecards, which obviously there is no scorecards because it was a doctor stoppage in this co-main event. And then it's just waiting for the ring walk for the main event. Gary Russell Jr. versus Mark Magsayo. What you all been waiting for. It is almost here. It is almost here. Make sure that you get the likes all the way up. We have almost 2,000 people in here. It's a bit mind-boggling how we cannot at least have 300 likes. That is the goal right now. Can we do it? Can we get it? Can we get the 300 likes? Is it possible? Right? Can you take 10 seconds to hit that like button? Also, make sure that you vote in the poll here. We got 600 votes in the poll right now. We got Mark Magsayo winning the poll via KO and or TKO. 63% of the people saying, yeah, I think Mark's going to pull the upset. 64% now. Bit surprised. Well, a bit surprised, but I'm guessing we have a lot of Mark Magsayo fans in here, which is fine. Which is totally fine. Just keep it respectful here in the chat. If you do subscribe, you got to wait 10 minutes to be able to comment in the chat. That just helps us keep it filtered and keep it for real boxing fans only and keep those who want to cause trouble and out of the chat. The second highest is 15% of the people saying Gary Russell Jr. by decision, which, if you guys didn't know, that was my official prediction. I already dropped an official prediction video of this fight. I broke it down, positives and negatives and, things that I see that are good for both fighters and things that could possibly be detrimental to them in this fight as well. Then I dropped my prediction. My official prediction was Gary Russell Jr. winning this fight by decision. I believe that, it's going to come down to skill, and I think Gary Russell Jr. is very skilled. But like I was saying earlier, we have a lot of questions that are in play right now, right? Is he injured? How injured is he? He was inactive for 2 years. Has he truly stayed disciplined, taking care of his body, getting quality, and I mean quality sparring in? We know about his pedigree. We know about his family. We know about what he can do. We know about his talent. We know about his abilities. But has he put himself in a vulnerable position going up against a guy like Mark Magsayo who wants to prove himself, right? He wants to show that he is the new thing, right? He is the new champ. He wants to come in and spoil the party. So, a lot of different details are coming into play in this fight, which makes this fight very interesting. I appreciate every single one of you guys dropping by as we slowly inch closer to 2,000 people here. Make sure you get the likes all the way up. The goal right now is 300 likes. Can we get it? We are creeping closer to the main event. The co-main event has just finished. I know that a lot of you that are tuning in right now cannot watch the fight live, so you're relying on my commentary to give you the punch-by-punch breakdown, and so that's where we're at right now. We are in the ring and listening to the questions to the fighters of the co-main event that just finished. After the questions are finished, then we are waiting for the ring walks of Gary Russell Jr. and Mark Magsayo. Cursor in the building. Good to see you, bro. Mangus Allen, I agree. And I think that, he should, not only win this fight for himself, but there is a lot of speculation surrounding his name right now, right? For all the reasons that I just mentioned. And yeah, at the end of the day, he had a little bit of trouble making weight. I don't think it's a big deal, but nonetheless, when as soon as you start missing weight, rather it's by a pound or a half a pound, it doesn't really matter. Now you know that your body has been changing, and it's probably time to move up. But he's got to get this victory first. He's got to silence the critics, and mostly it's the critics saying that he's been inactive. I think that's the biggest worry. I think that's the biggest criticism, is that he has been inactive and that we don't know how disciplined he's actually been, right? So if you're inactive for 2 years, then you come into a big fight to defend your title, and then you miss weight. It kind of plays in to the narrative that, like, have you really been disciplined then? Like, why are you missing weight? So he's got to come in and silence those people and say, y'all were tripping. Y'all were making a big deal about this, but it's not a big deal. I'm too skilled. I'm too talented. I'm going to prove it. But now that I got this victory, it's time to go ahead and move up and go on to bigger things. Boxing Monkey, greetings from Sydney. Love Russell, but geez, I wish he would fight more than once a year. I agree, Boxing Monkey, and I appreciate you. Thanks for dropping by from Sydney. John Page, what's good? Thanks for dropping by. Para says this is the last fight of my idol Gary Russell. Well, we're gonna have to see, man. We're gonna have to see, man. Thanks for dropping by. Platt Boys in the building. What's good, bro? I was waiting for you to come in here. John Page says Gary Russell Jr. won the Olympics with 2 broken hands to become the Olympian, not the first time to go through it mentally tough. He is mentally tough. That's why I haven't made any videos. If you guys have been paying attention, right? I haven't made any videos about his injuries. I haven't made any videos about his inactivity. When I made my breakdown video, I didn't even mention that because I don't really think it's going to matter. I think his skills will be enough to win this fight. But at the same time, I guess it's in the back of my mind. And I'm curious to see what Gary's going to say. If he does indeed lose this fight, what will he say? Because I'm pretty sure what Mark's going to say if Gary wins the fight. If Gary wins the fight, there's no shame for Mark Magsayo to lose this fight. There is no shame. I mean, you're going up against a guy who's the favorite. who's the champ, who's defended his title 5 times, and it's your first time in the spotlight, right? Sometimes you come up a little bit short. Even Manny Pacquiao in his career had a few opportunities early in his career and lost, came back and won the title and became the legend that he is, right? So it's fine. But for Gary, though, because of the injuries, what will he say if he comes up short tonight? We're gonna have to wait and see, man. But I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to giving my commentary and giving you guys my thoughts during the fight. I'll be scoring it as well. If you guys are just joining, I appreciate you. Jab that like button, subscribe if you're new, stay a part of the conversation. The co-main event is right around the corner. The main event, excuse me, is right around the corner. The co-main event just finished, and now we're just waiting for the ring walks. So I just wanted to give you guys the update here if you're just joining. Yeah, Yave, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this right here. I mean, the fact that we've got, 1,600 people in here, there should be no reason why we can't hit that 500. We're creeping closer to 400, and I appreciate you. So let's go ahead and creep it all the way up to 500. And all 500 people are people who really love boxing, who come in here and appreciate the hard work and dedication and appreciate the commentary. That's what those likes mean. You take the 10 seconds to go on your little phone there and slip and jab that like button. Also, vote in that poll. Vote in that poll if you haven't voted already. We have 1,371 votes so far, and 64% of those votes are saying Mark Magsayo is going to pull the upset and get the KO or TKO. Right? So I will end this poll as soon as the ring walks start. I will end the poll. So make sure you vote in it. Let the people know what you think. Also, if anybody has bet on this fight, let me know in the chat. Maybe you don't want to let people know because if you lose the bet, maybe you feel bad about it. But I'm curious to know, did anybody bet in this fight? If you did, let me know. Because if you bet on Magsayo and he wins this fight, you're going to get paid. You're going to get paid very nicely. But yeah, Rojai in the building. What's good, bro? He says Magsayo is about to get outclassed. Well, yeah, that was my prediction essentially. Maybe not outclassed. I mean, I think it's going to be a tough fight. I think that Magsayo, especially early, is going to make Gary a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, he's taller, he's longer, and I don't think he's scared of Gary. I really don't think he's scared. I think he's going to try to get into his chest, throw some looping shots, put his power on him early. And that's the thing, right? Is if Gary is able to slip the punches that he needs to slip, and if anything lands, he's able to take it. And if he takes it early, that's how you change the tide of the fight, especially when you are a puncher. When you're used to hurting people and you find yourself in a situation where, one, those punches that you were throwing at other fighters in previous fights are no longer landing, or when you land them, they're not having the same effect. That is psychological warfare, right? That is where you psychologically start to break down, where a pure boxer could then start finding their rhythm, their range, and start using their hand speed to their advantage, and their accuracy, right? Start chipping away. So I'm looking at these first 4 rounds to see, okay, is Gary Russell in shape, right? Is he showing any signs of injury? Is he not throwing certain punches because he has hurt himself? That's what I'm looking at. You get through those first 4 rounds, and I don't see any indication of that. Then I'm going to say, okay, well, this is about to go Gary Russell's way. Like, the longer the fight lasts, the more it's going to go Gary Russell Jr.'s way. That I guarantee you. So, in my opinion, for Mark to win this fight, he's going to do it in 6. He's got to do it in 6, in my opinion. If it goes past 6 and he's not able to hurt Gary, drop Gary, or show any like convincing, momentum, Gary Russell will walk to a decision. I promise you that. That's my in a nutshell kind of prediction there. We're doing some interviews of the fighters. They got Freddie Roach on here talking about Mark Magsayo. And we're just sitting here waiting for the ring walks, guys. The main event is coming up very soon. You know how it is, man. They got to build it up. Talk to the trainers and talk to the promoters and talk to the managers and talk to the fighters and all that different stuff. Now they got Gary Russell on here. And Gary Russell's basically saying that this is a lifestyle for me. I live and breathe and eat boxing. Even though I haven't been active fighting, I'm in the gym all the time. And he says he's confident and he's ready. So, I mean, yeah. Now they got in the locker room, Magsayo hitting the mitts with Freddie Roach, getting warmed up. He is the number 2 WBC featherweight contender. Mark Magsayo is, if you guys didn't know. So, he's earned his shot. Looks pretty good in his warm-up. He looks loose, looks strong, looks confident. Magsayo does. Freddie Roach is a trainer who he likes to teach his fighters to set up power punches. I mean, that's Freddie Roach's style, right? Is even if you get hit, he's not the best defensive coach. I mean, let's be honest. He's never really produced any fighters from his stable that are superior defensive fighters, right? They're more or less, boxer punchers, working with the jab. And in Manny Pacquiao's case, he helped develop Manny Pacquiao's right hook, which he didn't really have early in his career, but ultimately setting up that devastating left hand that Pacquiao had, right? And Freddie Roach is pretty good at teaching his fighters how to go to the body as well. But one major thing that I did point out in my breakdown video of this fight is actually when I, talk about the body, I actually think Magsayo is quite vulnerable to the body. I think he gets hit to the body a lot. In his last probably 3 fights, he just took a lot of shots to the body. And it's kind of crazy that I say that because I feel like Mark needs to go to the body against Gary, but Mark's also vulnerable to the body. He gets hit to the body a lot. So it's going to be interesting how that plays out. John Page, absolutely. Tom, what's good, bro? I haven't seen you in a while, man. I know I haven't been live either in a while, but it's good to see you. Let's get those likes all the way up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. You got to subscribe to be able to comment. But I would love to hear you guys' comments. No matter who you're going with, that's what makes the chat and makes the live stream more interesting. Big Dog, do I think Gary can hurt him? I think he can hurt him, like have him. I don't think he can hurt him, like knock him out, hurt him. But I think he can hurt him enough to get his respect. That's what I think. Mark's been knocked down before. He's been hurt, but he's also gotten up and finished fights. And he does have a killer instinct. You know what I mean? He does. Mark definitely has a killer instinct. If Mark got you hurt, he's coming for blood. He's definitely coming for blood. Looks like we got those 500 likes. I appreciate you guys. That means 500 people appreciate the commentary. 500 people are real boxing fans, and I appreciate you for that. Every like means that you are a real boxing fans, and that's what really matters. So now, if you're just tuning in and waiting, Mark Magsayo has now finally entered the ring. He is wearing orange and black, it looks like. This is his first world title bout. Can he handle the spotlight? Is he ready to showcase his skills? Is he ready to show the world that I am ready for this moment? I got the Philippines on my back, and I'm here to make a statement. We will see. So now we're getting ready for the ring entrance of Gary Russell Jr. Almost fight time, guys. Almost there. Sit tight. Buckle your seatbelts. I'm going to give you guys my live commentary, punch by punch, breakdown, and also scoring the fight. Florence Panay. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but thanks for dropping by. We got another Magsayo fan in the building. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this poll. I'm going to close this poll. Make sure you vote. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and poll is closed. Everybody put their vote in. And now we're getting ready to witness Gary Russell Jr.'s ring walk. He is wearing, looks like he's wearing all black, which, by the way, is my color. Black is my favorite color, so I'm automatically going to say I think he wins the wardrobe battle in this one. Looks like he's wearing like a pinstripe black as well, but not like a white pinstripe, but more of like a black on black pinstripe. Looks like he's doing some type of like ancestral type entrance here. Kind of interesting. My man Ka says Gary Russell by KO. Shit. I hope you got your vote. Did you get your vote in the poll, Kaz? Not a lot of people voted for that, so I hope you got your vote in the poll before I closed it. We're waiting for Gary Russell Jr.'s ring entrance. I know a lot of you people are listening in because you can't watch the fight live, or you weren't able to buy the fight, or you can't get a live stream of the fight. So I appreciate you dropping by, and make sure if you're new, subscribe, stay a part of the conversation, and of course, hit the like button. And for anybody who wants to show a little bit more appreciation, you can become an official member of the channel where you get access to exclusive videos, VIP type access of videos that are for members only, and also have access to custom emojis. So any official member of the channel right now, do me a favor and go ahead and drop some of those custom emojis in the chat so those people can see what those are and what they can have access to, and I appreciate you. Boxing Monkey has money on Russell for a late KO. Cool. All right, guys, we got both fighters in the ring now. We're about to get the ring announcer to come in and announce the fighters. We are literally minutes away from round 1 of Gary Russell Jr. versus Mark Magsayo. Title fight. This is a title fight, you guys. If you guys didn't know, Gary Russell Jr. is defending his WBC title. So this fight means a lot. Not only is it a title fight, but a lot of people have been saying that Gary Russell, who is the favorite, they've been saying he's not ready. He hasn't been disciplined. He hasn't been active. He's injured. We're going to find out. Tail to tape. Gary Russell Jr. is 33. Mark Magsayo is 26. Gary Russell Jr. is 5'4.5". Mark Magsayo is 5'6.5", 2 inches taller. And he also has a 3.5-inch reach advantage for Mark Magsayo. If you guys didn't know, there's no three knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Fight is official after end of round 4. What that means is if there's a headbutt, accidental headbutt, and the fighter can't continue, if the fight goes past 4 rounds, it will go to the scorecards. All right, guys, we're about to get to the announcement of the fighters. Yave, I appreciate you dropping in that custom emoji. All right, guys, before we get this kicked off, make sure you've hit that like button. Make sure that you have hit that subscribe button, because if you're going for Mark Magsayo, if you're expecting Mark Magsayo to pull the upset, you got to subscribe so you can show love to Mark Magsayo in the chat. That's the only way you can do it. You have to subscribe first. And all 639 of you, now 641 of you who has hit that like button, that means that you're a real boxing fan. That means that you love boxing. That means that you love live commentary like you're witnessing right now. And I appreciate you. Salute to you. And if we can get to 1,000 likes on this live stream, that will be record breaking, y'all. That would be record breaking if we can get it to 1,000 likes. They are now announcing Chavo TV. I see you, bro. Lopez family. Shout out to you from the Philippines. I appreciate you. Terry Smoot Jr., we are here. Let's do it. They are now. We got Lynn Carter, Mark Castillo, and I didn't catch the third judge, but those are the judges. And we got Benji Estevez for the referee, who, if you don't know, Benji's been around forever. Forever. Benji has been a referee for at least 15 years, if not more. So, veteran referee tonight for this fight. And if I go quiet, it's just because I'm listening in. It's showtime. All right. They're about to introduce Mark, the challenger, wearing dark blue, actually, with gold trim. So only his little jacket there or whatever is orange. 23-0, 16 KOs, fighting out of Los Angeles, California, representing the Philippines. First attempt at a world title. Mark Magnifico Magsayo. All right. So I hope you guys are cheering out there for your fighter, Mark, if you're going for Mark. And here comes Gary Russell Jr. G5, what's good, bro? Karma Boxing and MMA, good to see you. Gary Russell Jr., 31-1 with 18 KOs, fighting out of Capitol Heights, Maryland. That one loss, if you guys don't know, was from Lemonchenko. Reigning and defending WBC champion of the world, Gary Russell Jr. All right, here we go. We got Gary Russell Jr.'s family in attendance. They just showed him on the camera. All right. Ring instructions by the referee. Middle of the ring. Keep it clean. Obey all the commands. You know, all the normal stuff. It's fight time. If you haven't hit that like button, get the likes all the way up. Get them up. Let's get them all the way up to 1,000. Can we get to 1,000 likes? Joshua Sawyer in the building. Steve Travigo. What's good? I'll listen to you, but the TV is on mute. I appreciate you. All right, round one is about to begin. And we're off. Round one. Of course, Gary Russell Jr. comes out in his southpaw stance. Comes out with the jab very early. You can see the height advantage very early as well. The reach advantage for Magsayo is apparent. But Gary Russell, so far, first few seconds of the fight, looks fast. Got some hand speed. Middle of the ring so far. Both are, nice body shot by Magsayo. Right hand to the body under that left arm. Throws a little quick two-punch combination there from Magsayo. Gary slips in that left hand. Slips in a right hand to the body. Looks like Magsayo's trying to time Russell as he comes in with an uppercut, but wasn't able to land at that time. Still in the middle of the ring. They came out punching early, but it slowed down just slightly. I think there's some respect there. I think Gary's trying to get acclimated to the reach advantage by Magsayo here. Another big right hand to the body by Magsayo under that left arm of Gary, which is, you want to utilize that right hand against a southpaw stance. Absolutely. Oh, nice left hand by Russell. They're both exchanging, punches here, but nothing too shocking yet. They're just like one punch at a time exchanging at this time. No combinations thrown. Both are pretty respectful of each other. Both are picking their spots. Nobody's overly aggressive yet. I was expecting Magsayo to be a little bit more aggressive, but, he's actually on the back foot a little bit and choosing when he wants to throw. Pretty close first round here so far. We're about 50 seconds left. Nice uppercut by Magsayo on the inside. Got some oohs and ahs from the crowd. Oh, nice 1-2 by Russell. I like that 1-2. 1-2 and then roll out. Very nice there by Russell. 40 seconds so far left in the round. Pretty close round. Oh, nice right hand by Magsayo. He threw two right hands. The first right hand was blocked. Second hand got in there. But Russell returns with two left hands of his own. Oh, nice counter by Magsayo there. Right hand over the top. Close round. Last 10 seconds. Nice jab of Magsayo. And end of round one. On my time now, of course, guys, if you're watching the fight, I might be a little bit behind you or a little bit ahead of you because of, latency and all that different stuff. So that is the first round done. I'm just getting my scorecard sorted out here. But I will give that round a very, very close round. I'm actually going to circle that round, by the way, because it's a pretty close round. Fill out round, but both of them were definitely trying to get some power shots in there to see what they can get away with. So I'm going to give that first round slightly to Magsayo. All right, so we're getting ready for the second rounds. Don Vaughn in the building was good. I appreciate you. Chavo, I appreciate you trusting the commentary, bro. Let's get all the way up to 1,000 likes. We're almost there. I know the fight has already started, but don't forget to hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe. Stay a part of the conversation so you can comment. Round two, and we're off. Gary comes out a little bit more aggressive in round two. I think he knows that he might have lost that first round. The reach and the height advantage is actually much more apparent than I was suspecting. So Gary's going to have to figure out a way, man. And Magsayo is also counterpunching. I'm actually surprised at that. Counterpunching and picking his shots. I thought he was going to be a bit more aggressive and just try to come forward, but he's not doing that so far. Nice little 1-2 combo there by Russell. 1 minute down, 2 minutes to go here in the second round. Still in the middle of the ring. Magsayo jumped in with the right hand. He tried to do it again, but Russell slipped out that time. Nice head movement by Russell there, slipping the jab. Nice left hand by Russell. It looks like Russell's slowly getting more. I feel like he's getting a little bit more comfortable. Once he starts slipping punches. Ooh, nice counter left hand by Russell. Nice double jab by Russell. Magsayo is a little bit more careful now. About a minute left in the second round. And remember, I might be a little bit behind you if you are watching the fight live. A minute left. A minute left. So far, I got Gary Russell winning this round so far. Mark's got to do something to kind of change my mind here this last 50 seconds. Nice right hand, but it was partially blocked by Russell there. Partially blocked. Still in the middle of the ring. Russell jumps in with the jab. Nice jab. Magsayo tries to throw a left hook, but missed it. It was a big left hook, too. He loaded up with it, but he didn't land it. I think there's a bit more appreciation and respect by both fighters now. They've kind of slowed down a little bit. Oh, nice counter right hand by Magsayo, but I feel like Gary Russell blocked that pretty well. Sharp jab to the body by Russell. Sharp left hand by Russell, and then he blocked a counter right hand from Magsayo. Very nice by Gary. I feel like Gary's starting to find his rhythm a little bit now. Ooh, nice counter left hand by Russell. And that's the end of the second round. I'm going to give that one to Gary Russell Jr. So I have it 1 round even so far after 2. Moped in the building. What's good, bro? Hit that like button. Listen to my man Moped, man. He knows what's good. He knows what's up. I appreciate you, bro. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. That is the end of round number 2. End of round number 2. Marcos the Great. What's good, man? If you're new to the channel, we got over 3,000 people in the chat. If you're new, you subscribe. Stay a part of the conversation because this is what I do. Next time I go live commentating a fight, you get the notification and you can come right in. You won't miss the live commentary. But in order to do that, you got to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you stay a part of this conversation. We're almost at 1,000 likes, people. We're almost at 1,000 likes. Can we get to 1,000 likes? Round number 3. Here we go. The fight's getting interesting. I have it 1 round even. I like how Magsayo goes to the body as Russell tries to dip underneath. He goes to the body. Very, very smart by Magsayo. I mean, he's got the reach to be able to do that, and he needs to utilize it. Well, Gary Russell's showing some toughness here on the inside. Trying to triple up with the left hand. I only think one got in there real cleanly. But I'm getting this feeling that it's going to start getting a bit gritty. I feel like it's coming. Magsayo tries to load up with the left hook. Magsayo hasn't been able to land that left hook yet. Gary Russell's defending that left hook pretty well, and his defense seems to get tighter. The first round, I gave that first round to Mark, and he's already started to make adjustments. Russell has. He's already started to make adjustments from that first round, using his feet a lot to stay out of that range because Mark Magsayo has that reach advantage. Not a lot of action in this third round. As far as like clean punches landed, there's some punches thrown, but all blocked by both fighters. Nothing significant. We got about 1 minute and 20 seconds left of the third round. Another close round. Nobody's really done anything to really win the round convincingly, in my opinion. So this last minute is going to kind of tell or show who's going to win this round. Nice counter left hand by Russell. Nice left hand to the body by Russell. He's really looping left hand by Russell, but barely missed. It missed him. I like how Magsayo is not abandoning the jab, but that's something that you see a lot from Freddie Roach. You see a lot of Freddie Roach's training in Mark Magsayo. Nice double jab by Gary. Gary's doing that now. He's finding that pivot now. He's finding that left hand down the pipe and pivot out to his right and staying away from Magsayo's right hand. And another counter by Russell. These are not big shots, right? These are not shots that are hurting Magsayo, but they are scoring shots. He's really getting that pivot. Oh, another left hand. And Magsayo tries to follow up with a jab, and Russell gets out of the way using his feet. Very nice. You can see the ability from Gary now. This is what people have been talking about. So that's the end of round 3. I give that to Gary Russell again. I have it 2-1. And it's starting to turn into a chess match now. Mark came out in round 1 and he didn't look scared. He came out throwing big jabs, big right hands to the body. You can see that the range was troubling Gary, and Mark seemed confident. And I gave him that first round. But Gary's starting to find his rhythm, right? He started to throw the left hand down and pivot out to his right, staying away from Mark Magsayo's right hands. So Mark's got to figure out a way to land that left hook. You know what I mean? As soon as Gary tries to roll out, he's got to return with that big left hook. C. Wood, what's good? C. Wood, what's good? Chavo, I agree. I expected Mark to come out much more aggressively, which I think is a good thing, right? But he hasn't done. He's been trying to like counterpunch and throw big power shots. He needs to just walk. I think he honestly just needs to try to walk down Gary, because if he doesn't, Gary's going to box. He's going to be on the back foot. He's going to be comfortable. We are in round 4 now. We're in round 4. Uh-oh. Big shots thrown by Magsayo. Nice uppercuts by Magsayo. Got him on the ropes. Gary Russell had Gary Russell on the ropes, but Gary Russell did survive it and rolled out. What I like from Magsayo is he's not scared. He doesn't look deterred. He doesn't look like he's outmatched or outclassed. And he's trying to stick to a game plan. And he's trying to seize the moment. I appreciate that, because that's what makes a good fight. Oh, nice counter left hand by Russell. Throws another left hand down the pipe. That one missed, I think, by Gary Russell. It looks like Gary's really trying to make that left hand a real weapon. Back in the middle of the ring. Ooh, big left hand by Russell. Snapped Magsayo's head back. But Magsayo took it well. Nice little exchange. Magsayo goes to the body. Gary returns to the head with the left hand. Gary's using that left hand a lot. It's like he's really made a game plan to make that left hand effective. Oh, another left hand again. A minute left of this 4th round. Magsayo came out aggressive very, very early at the beginning of the round. And he was up, but then once again, Gary kind of settles back into what he wants to do, and landing these quick shots, scoring shots, not big shots, not shots that hurt Mark, but scoring shots. Another counter left hand by Russell. A looping left hand by Russell. One, two, three, 4 left hands by Gary. I still only think 1 or 2 maybe landed from those 4, though. But he's really using that left hand a lot. And I don't know if because he feels like it's effective, or he's trying to masquerade that right hand. I'm not sure if that's part of his plan to hide that right hand and release it later. But he is throwing that left hand relentlessly, Gary Russell is. Very tough round there. Mark was aggressive early. He was trying to apply pressure. I just don't think he was able to land anything really effective other than that burst in the first 10 to 15 seconds of the round. I appreciate his confidence. I appreciate his willingness to press the fight, but I still think Gary got those quick, sharp punches in, the scoring punches, and I got to give it to Gary. Mark needs... Gary's complaining about his hand. The doctor came in. It's his right hand. That may be it then, guys. That might be why he's not throwing his right hand. Is because He hurt his right hand, and you saw he counterpunched Mark Magsayo and hit Mark Magsayo right on the forehead, and he automatically started shaking his right hand out. Is his right hand hurt now? Did he hurt his right hand before this fight took place? Maybe they were talking about injuries. We are now starting round 5 now. But he was talking about injuries before this fight. Was it that right hand? Did he just re-injure it? I was just saying, like, he keeps throwing this left hand constantly, but maybe that's because his right hand is really injured now. Oh, is Gary a one-handed fighter now? I'm trying to see what he's going to do with the right hand. The doctor did check it, and Gary said he's fine, but you can tell in that replay they did a slow motion when he landed that right hand on Magsayo's forehead. It hurt his hand for sure. I mean, he was shaking it out. You can see the grimace on his face. Round 5 here. Magsayo's got to take advantage of this situation. Because Gary now, if he's a one-handed fighter, he's going to be extremely defensive. And if you're Mark Magsayo, the left hand is coming, right? You don't got to worry about the right hooks anymore. You don't got to worry about the jab as much anymore. So you got to come forward. You got to be aggressive. You got to chop him down if you're Magsayo. Russell keeps throwing that left hand. Magsayo's got to be smart. I mean, Gary Russell Jr.'s defense and footwork is still very, very good. It's keeping him in this fight, especially if he did indeed hurt his right hand. His ability to slip and dodge punches is really keeping him. Another left hand, counter left hand, but he literally hasn't thrown his right hand at all this entire round. It's going to be hard to win rounds with one hand. Though he's tripling up with the left hand, but blocked. Magsayo's not really landing anything significant either. But because Gary only got one hand, it's hard for him to mix up his punches. We got 20 seconds left of the 5th. Tries to throw a combination there. Magsayo does. It was blocked and then put his weight on Russell. Russell took a knee, but that was because he was kind of laying on Russell there for a bit. And that is the end of round 5. I'm going to give that one to Mark. I think, Mark was aggressive. He went to the body. Gary, yeah, he landed that left hand in the counter shots a little bit, but I got to get that one to Mark because we got some close rounds here, and I've been giving Gary the benefit of the doubt for the most part of the fight. But for that one, I'm going to give Mark the benefit of the doubt. We're going into the 6th round, and I have it 3-2. Gary with 3 rounds, Mark with 2. We're going into the 6th. Yeah, but it says he looks like he might have dislocated his shoulder. Yeah, because he landed it awkward and it kind of jarred his shoulder back as well. That could have been it. Mark Magsayo has to take advantage of this. If Gary cannot throw his right hand anymore, he has to take advantage of this. Because defensively, you only got to worry about the left hand coming in. So you just keep your right hand up nice and tight. Oh, nice little 1-2 by Magsayo. Now he's going to the body. Now he's mixing it up. It's going to force Gary to be really, really defensive here. And if you can't counterpunch with that right hand, it just makes it so tough. A one-handed fighter, just a huge disadvantage. Nice body shot by Magsayo. We are in round 6 if you're just joining. Gary Russell Jr. versus Mark Magsayo. I have Gary Russell up 3-2, but Gary Russell Jr. might have hurt his right shoulder or his wrist or hand, right hand. He hasn't really thrown the right hand at all since round 4. And it's looking like he's really trying to protect that right hand at all costs. Magsayo's starting to chop away. And what is Gary going to do if he's only got one hand? If you guys remember, Tank Davis fought with one hand and was able to pull it off against Cruz. But can Gary do the same thing? And if you guys don't know, Gary Russell's actually a right-handed fighter, from what I heard. So it's actually his strong hand that is injured. Gary Russell still hasn't thrown the right hand. Oh, nice big body shot by Magsayo. The only thing that Gary's doing with that right hand is just kind of pawing it out there a little bit as a rangefinder, but he's not throwing it. He's not trying to throw a right hook. He's not trying to. He's clearly hurt. Clearly hurt that right hand. Oh, nice left hand there by Gary. He's still getting in these damn left hands. It's shocking. Lunging in with a 1-2 by Mark Magsayo. I think it grazed Gary. Big left hand to the body by Russell. End of round 6. I don't know, guys. I got to give that to Mark again. You know, he's aggressive. He's pressing. And because of the disadvantage, you know, Gary's not able to do what he would normally do when Mark's being aggressive, because he doesn't have that right hand. So he's just, he's just wheeling out of danger and not able to throw punches. So I got a 3 rounds all now. It's now 3 rounds all on my scorecard. All right, we're getting ready for round number 7. I have it 3 rounds tie. 3-round tie going into the 7th round. Gary seems like the past 3 rounds, all he has is a left hand. His right hand hasn't really been used at all. If you're just joining or haven't able to watch it, it seemed like he hurt his right hand after landing a punch. It's either his hand or his shoulder. We're not sure exactly. But one thing we do know is he's not throwing that right hand anymore. So he's a one-handed fighter. It's getting to the point now where, because Magsayo has 2 hands and Gary only has 1 hand, Magsayo's going to be throwing probably 3 to 4 punches to Gary's 1. So if Gary's going to throw 1, I mean, it's got to be super clean and it's got to be super effective. Because even though Gary's defense is superior, he's still losing the punch count. Steve Farhood also has it a tie. 57-57, 6 rounds. 3 rounds to 3 rounds. To slow down a little bit in the middle of the ring. Magsayo started off aggressive in the round, but I've kind of noticed that trend with Magsayo. He comes out really, really hard and quick early, and then he kind of slows down in the middle, and then he picks it up at the end. Gary's basically on the defensive since he hurt his hand, where earlier in the fight before he hurt his hand, he was, stepping in, throwing combinations. Now he's pretty much on the back foot, trying to figure out a way to make his left hand effective. Oh, big right hand to the body by Magsayo. No action. If you guys don't hear any commentary, it's because they're not throwing any punches. So just so you know. Two-punch combo by Magsayo to the body. At this point, you might as well, right? If you're Magsayo, you might as well just start ripping to the body, because Gary doesn't have a right hand to counter you with. He doesn't have a counter right uppercut. He doesn't have a counter right hook. So you might as well just dig into the body and see if you can get his hands to drop so you can go to the head. Looks like that is the end of round number 7. Another tough round to score. Getting ready for round 8 now. It's a tough round to score there in that 7. Just because, Gary's being very defensive, and he's effective at being defensive. He's making Mark miss a lot, but Mark is just working. And it's just hard for Gary just having one hand. And like I said earlier, it's basically 4 punches to 1 or 5 punches to 1 almost every single time. So I'm going to have to give that one to Mark as well, that round 7. Now we're in round number 8. And, Gary has countered well early in this 8th round with that left hand, which is a bit crazy, right? It's like Mark knows that he's a one-handed fighter, and it's like you got to, at some point, you got to throw caution to the wind and just go for it. Gary lands the counter left hand again. And Gary is just like another counter left hand by Gary. As Magsayo knows it's coming, but he just doubled up head body by Gary, left hand. There goes Magsayo, goes to the body. It's like Gary's still somehow able to bait Magsayo to get countered with that left hand, which is quite astounding. Jumps in with the left hand again. Gary does. I got Gary winning this 8th round so far. He's just like making that one hand work. Doubles up with the left hand. Gary does and lands it. Gary is doing enough in this 8th round with one hand to stay in this fight if he's able to finish this last minute of the 8th round. Oh, another counter left hand by Gary. He just keeps throwing these counter left shots, and it's like I feel like Mark knows he needs to be aggressive, but he's got to figure out a way to be aggressive and not get countered by that left hand. You got to go to Gary's right side. You got to step around to the right side and use your left hook. And he's not doing it. He's just going straight forward, and Gary's stepping back and throwing that left hand down the pipe. And because Gary's defense is so good, he can avoid punches as well. If Gary didn't have defense, this fight is probably over. But because he does, he's able to stay in this fight. This is why defense is so important for anybody who boxes or wants to box, or you're just starting off. Defense is so important, because when you're injured, defense can keep you in the fight. So I give that one to Gary Russell Jr. One-handed Gary Russell wins that 8th round for me. Arturo, I appreciate you. I'm going to highlight that comment there. Let the people know. Subscribe. Keep yourself updated and educated. Absolutely. Yeah, Yave, handle these trolls, bro. They literally subscribe and they gotta wait like 30 minutes to comment. So they're sitting there waiting to comment, and giving me views. So that just shows their idiotic mindset. All right, guys, we're getting ready to go into round number 9 now. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay a part of the conversation. Click that like button. You have it. We have over 1,000 likes. Those 1,000 people are people who love boxing. They're true boxing fans. Everybody who hits that like button is a true boxing fan, and I appreciate every single one of you. Round number 9. Ooh, big left hand by Gary Russell. And Mark walked right into it. Mark needs to move to Gary's right hand because Gary's wheeling out to his right every time, which is what you're supposed to do against an orthodox fighter, by the way. But Mark needs to show his ability here. He needs to show his boxing ability and cut off Gary's ability to move to his right. And he's not. He's giving that lane, that right lane, to Gary every single time and just coming forward. And then Gary counters to the body with the left hand as well. Mark, you know Gary doesn't have a right hand, so move to his right. He can't counter with the right hand. Another left hand by Gary down the pipe. About 1:30 left in the 9th round. I haven't seen Mark do much. It's like he's trying to figure out a way to take advantage of Gary's one hand, basically. But I feel like Magsayo's starting to slow down a little bit. You know, he was very, very quick on his feet, throwing a lot of punches early. And I don't know if he's tired, but he's definitely being a bit more calculated, maybe, if I'm being nice, maybe he's being calculated. But he just continues. He just got straight with another left hand. Magsayo's got to figure out how to get that left hook in. He's got to figure it out. You can really see Gary's talent, his ability, his experience. And like I said, guys, if you're hurt, defense can save you. If you're hurt and you got no damn defense, you are in big trouble in boxing, especially when you're a one-handed fighter. And that is exactly how Gary Russell has been able to survive this fight so far and staying in the fight. Magsayo throwing combinations, but they were blocked, in my opinion. This is why defense is important, people. Another left hand by Gary, and I got to give that one to Gary, too. So if you guys are just joining and following my scorecards, I have Gary Russell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rounds to 4 now for Gary Russell. Gary, 5 rounds. I gave Mark 4 rounds. We're getting ready to go to the 10th round. So we're starting to get closer and closer to the championship rounds. Gary's getting to the point where now he's like, all I got to do is continue my defense, stay sharp, land the left hands, make him miss, slow him down, and I'm going to win this fight. That's what Gary's thinking. But Mark needs to be more aggressive. He needs to, this is his moment. This is his moment. You got an injured Gary Russell. If you can't beat an injured Gary Russell, who clearly hasn't thrown his right hand for the past 4 rounds, what are people going to say about you, Mark? You got to take advantage here. You got to be aggressive and just start ripping into the body, pressuring them to the ropes, because you don't have to worry about a counter right hand at this point anymore. But Steve Farhood, surprisingly, gave Magsayo 6, 7, 8, and 9. I don't agree with that at all. At one point, me and Steve Farhood had the same scorecard, but we've went separate ways since the 6th round. Yeah, I mean, I hear the commentators. I have the volume down really low, but they're saying that Gary's pot shotting. Well, yeah, he's got no choice. He's got one hand, and Mark needs to take advantage. There you go. Got him in the corner, but of course, Gary's smart. He ties him up. So far, Gary's only thrown 8 punches in this 10th round, and Magsayo, has thrown more, but it's not effective. So he just needs to keep throwing. That's basically what it is. You just got to keep throwing and keep the judges' eyes on you. When you're throwing punches, the judges are looking at you. If you're just standing there bouncing on your toes and not throwing punches like he's doing right now, then it looks like Gary is not under threat. And Gary's going to continue to pot shot. And you put it in the judges' score, you put the decision in the hands of the judges. So don't forget, people, that Gary Russell is the champion. You got to take it from the champion. You got to beat him up. You got to drop him. You got to stop him. You got to do something convincingly to take it from a champ, and not just any champ, a champ who's been a champ for 5 years, or 5 title defenses, rather. 6 years, I think he's been a champion, but, he's been inactive. But nonetheless, he's been a champion, man. You got to take it to him, and he's got one hand. So, last 10 seconds of this 10th round. I don't feel like Gary was effective with the counter left hands as much as he was in the 8th and 9th. I think he left Mark off the hook, but, he was just trying to stay on the back foot, maybe trying to conserve energy for these last 2 rounds. But I'm going to give that one to Mark, even though he didn't do anything that was like eye-popping, except for it looks like he got a left hook there that last 5 seconds of the round that kind of snapped Gary's head back. But that was about it. But I'm going to give Mark the round because Gary didn't do what he was doing in the 7th, 8th, and 9th round, or at least the 8th and 9th round. So we are officially in the championship rounds now, people. We're going into the 11th round. And Jade Nilsson, what's good? Jade Nilsson, what's up? Aladdin, what's good? Trick Boxing, what's good? Salute to you. Jake, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Gabriel Vincent, thank you for subscribing, bro. I appreciate you. Let's go ahead and get the likes to continue to go up. We are in the 11th round. We are officially in the championship rounds. I have it a very close fight. So it's going to come down to will and determination. More so for Magsayo, to be honest with you. Gary can only do so much with one hand. He's going to continue to stay defensive and try to throw the left hand down and pot shot. So Magsayo needs to take these 2 rounds and just say, I'm going to seize the moment. I'm going to take advantage of this situation. I got 2 rounds to do it. I don't know where the scorecards are at. Gary's the champion. They might give him the benefit of the doubt, so I got to take it to him. There you go. Step in with the left hook to the body by Magsayo. Nice. That's what you got to do. Cut the ring off, especially to Gary Russell's right, which is your left. Right? Mark, don't let Gary move to your left. Every time he tries to do it, rip him to the body. He can block with his right hand, but obviously he can't throw the right hand. So you don't got to worry about him trying to counterpunch you. Magsayo's been pretty aggressive in this 11th round. Nothing really eye-catching, but he is throwing and he is pressuring. About a minute left in this round. You know, Gary's so good at time management, too. He's so good at time management, and that just comes with the experience. Oh, nice right hand to the body by Magsayo as Gary tried to come in with the left. Throws a 1-2, but didn't land. Puts his weight on Gary. Gary is kind of fighting this 11th round like he did the 10th round. I'm sorry, you know, Gary you can't win rounds like by just because you're on your feet and you're moving. Nice jab by Magsayo. But just because you're moving around and slipping punches doesn't mean you're winning the round necessarily. I know you only got one hand, but you did it on my scorecards in the 10th and 9th. You were landing that left hand, but you ain't doing it no more. It's like you basically giving away a championship round. And that is the 11th. Now, Gary did land a nice sharp left hand right at the end of the round, but so did Mark in the 10th round. He landed a left hook on Gary. So I got to give that one to Mark again. I feel like 10 and 11 was deja vu for Gary. I mean, he moved, he slipped punches, but he just didn't throw the left hand as sharp and as accurate like he did in the 8th and 9th round. So we're going to the final round. Final round now, guys. The scorecards I'm assuming are tight. And here we go. But don't forget what I said, guys. Gary is the champ. Gary is the champ. So last round for Mark to not put it in the judges' hands. That's what I'm thinking if I'm Mark. I'm not going to put it in the judges' hands. I'm going to go in here and take him out. If I'm Gary, I'm thinking, get that left hand in there, stick it in, be defensive, and I got to make sure that I win this round. 10th and 11th maybe didn't go my way, so I'm going to make sure I'm going to get this 12th round in, because if it's a draw, I keep my belts, right? Steve Farhood has Magsayo up 107 to 102 going into the final round here. Ah, shit. Looks like I had to refresh my my internet there. All right, I'm back. So I missed about 30 seconds of this 12th round, unfortunately, but I'm back in. Gary's definitely throwing the left hand much more than he did in 10-11. It's the final round. Both fighters need to put it all on the line right here. It's a pretty close fight. It should be a close fight. I don't agree with Steve Farhood's scorecard at all, by the way. It's much closer. He didn't give Gary the 8th and 9th round like I did. So he's got a gap. Oh, Mark loading up. You know, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. You know, I think if Gary didn't injure his right hand, I think this fight would have definitely went Gary's way, no problem. And no disrespect to Mark. Mark he's come in here and put on a very good performance. You know, his first title shot. Last minute of the 12th round. But because Gary did injure his right arm or his right hand, it's opened the door for Magsayo to potentially pull this upset. If I'm Russell, you got like 30 seconds left. You might as well, even though your right hand's hurt, you might as well throw it. The fight's over anyways. You don't got another round to fight. So you'll surprise Mark if you just throw a big right hook. 20 seconds left on my stream here in the 12th round. Last 10 seconds. Magsayo very aggressive in this 12th round, but Gary did much better in this 12th than he did in the 10th and 11th. End of the round. Both fighters put their arms up. Both fighters feel like they won the fight. And we go to the scorecards. So, I got to think about that 12th round for a second. It's a tough round to score. Gary made it tough to score because his defense was very, very good. He made Mark miss a lot. You know what I mean? But as terrible as it sounds, he was just at a huge disadvantage, right? He just only had one arm, one hand. I'm going to be consistent. And I'm going to give Gary that 12th round because I gave Gary the 8th and 9th because he was able to kind of get that left hand in there, and his defense is sound. I'd like to give points for defense. So a lot of people don't agree with that, but I'd like to give credit. I won't necessarily give the guy a round just because his defense is good, but if the other guy is not landing anything significant against a guy who has very, very good defense, I will give the defensive fighter the benefit of the doubt because defense is a skill. You know what I mean? And you got to be proficient in that skill. So let me calculate my scorecards here. I think it's going to be very, very close. I'm going to try to get this calculated before the official scorecards come out. I'll get my handy dandy calculator out. And for all those people who jumped in today, man, I appreciate you immensely. Jabs thrown, it says, according to CompuBox, Magsayo threw 203 jabs to only 64. But remember, guys, jab is the right hand, right? And that's the hand and the arm that Gary hurt. So obviously he's not going to be able to throw that hand. It puts him at a huge disadvantage. Just calculating my scorecards here. Oh, shit. I might have this a draw. Yeah, guys, I have it a draw. I have it a draw on my scorecards. Now, my official prediction, Andrew Charles was good. My official prediction was a 12-round decision by Gary. But my scorecard is a draw. So we will see what the official judges have it. Jake, I appreciate you. So let's see. Remember what I told you guys before, though. If you guys were in here earlier, a lot of you weren't, but those of you who were in here early, I said, if Gary loses this fight due to injury, what is he going to say? What are the people going to say? All right, here come the scorecards. First judge, 114 draw. It's exactly what I had. $115 to $113 for the winner. and the new featherweight champion, Mark Magnifico Magsayo. He got it, guys. He got it. One judge had it a draw, 114-114 is what I had it. And then we got 115-113. The other two judges scored it for Mark Magsayo. And there you guys have it, man. We have a new champion. Now, what we're going to do now is I'm gonna stay on live here just a little bit longer to see what Gary Russell's going to say. But look, guys, not to make any excuses, but when you hurt your hand, man, I mean, Gary, a lot of other fighters who don't have the defensive prowess and the abilities that Gary Russell has probably would have got stopped tonight or really seriously beat up. But because Gary has that ability, he was able to make it a fight, right? To the point where I had it a draw and one judge had it a draw as well. That is very impressive when you're a one-handed fighter. Very impressive. So they're interviewing Mark now. He said, "This is my dream since I was a kid." Another champion back in the Philippines. Kas, absolutely. Absolutely. No shame for Gary Russell whatsoever. Because like I said, man, most fighters would have been stopped tonight if they're on one hand. Gary has the ability to take it all the way to 12 and make it very, very competitive, and make it a score. It's a difficult scorecard for the judges at the end of the day. And if he would have had both of his hands, I don't think this would have went Mark's way tonight. I honestly don't think that. Because up until the point where he hurt his hand, I had Gary Russell up 3 rounds to 1. He was up 3 rounds to 1 when he injured his hand, and then it became Mark just said that he knew that Gary was hurt, and he knew he didn't have his right hand. And then he said, "I'm a champion now, and I'm willing to fight anybody now." Now they're going to interview Gary. He says he believes he has a torn tendon in his shoulder. He said he could have stepped out. He could have canceled the fight, but he came in and he fought, which you got to give him. You got to give him credit for that. Absolutely. A lot of fighters, they get hurt, they step out. He still thinks that he outboxed Mark and landed the cleaner shots. He says he refuses not to compete. Injured or not, he's going to fight, which I have a lot of respect for that. A lot of respect. He said that he was out for 2 years. He's been itching to come back for a long time. He wanted to fight, and unfortunately, 2 weeks before the fight, he injured his shoulder. And he said by that time, by that time, he thought, it is what it is. I'm going to fight. But he obviously re-injured it or injured it more in this fight, and this is the fear that we had, right, as boxing fans. Um, and they said that if he said he might have to get surgery, and he's going to have to see. They asked him if he wants a rematch. He said, "Yeah, but will Mark want a rematch?" You know, I'm usually, here's the thing. I'm usually not a huge fan of rematches usually, but in this case, yes. Not only was it a close fight, I had it a draw. One judge had it a draw. The other two judges only gave Mark one extra round. Very close fight, considering that Gary only had one arm. So you have to give it a rematch because you want to see Gary be healthy, have two healthy arms, and can Mark defend his title, right? Can he actually show that he can beat a healthy Gary with two arms? And I know people might say, well, don't make excuses. Mark went in there and did what he had to do. Well, of course. I mean, what is Mark supposed to do? The guy's hurt or not. He's got to go in there and win. But the facts remain, right? The fact is that he came into the fight injured. He injured his shoulder again, and he couldn't throw his right hand literally for like 8 rounds. So we don't really know the full potential of what this fight could actually be, and it was still close, right? So, you know, respect to Mark Magsayo for the victory. Congratulations to the Philippines. You have a new champion. I enjoyed watching Mark in this fight. He came out as a young, hungry contender, and he wasn't afraid. He was confident, and even though at times where he looked a little bit outclassed, he didn't waver. He didn't give up, and he was in there against an educated boxer with a lot of experience, and he just kept his determination going, and you have to give him his credit. He's earned the opportunity. He seized the moment. Congratulations to Mark Magsayo, and of course to the Philippines as well. I would like to see a rematch. I would like to see a healthy Gary, and to be honest with you, I would like to see a Mark Magsayo beat a healthy Gary Russell Jr. And he should be able to do it, right? He's faced him once. He faced Gary with two hands the first 4 rounds or so. And so he has an idea of what Gary Russell is like with the ability to use both of his hands. So Rada the Prophet, I don't know how long you've been watching, bro, but I appreciate you dropping by. But you know what? Mark Mark Magsayo, you got to be excited for him. I mean, it's hard not to. Young guy coming in, title opportunity. You can't bash or make excuses. You got to give him his credit. Like he said, childhood dream, came in there and did it. And I had it a draw, guys. On my scorecard, it was a draw. And if it was a draw, Gary would have kept his belts. But now the belt goes back to the Philippines. And they got Manny Pacquiao here saying, congratulations, Mark Magsayo, on your first world championship. Thank you for bringing honor to our country by becoming the first Filipino world boxing champion. Welcome to the club. Becoming the latest Filipino world champion. Welcome to the club. So that was Manny Pacquiao. He tweeted out right after this victory. But I got to give credit to both fighters. Give credit for Mark for winning tonight, but also give credit for Gary for being injured and fighting through it and showing his abilities and making it a fight. like I was saying earlier, a lot of other fighters going up against a strong young champion like Mark, if they got one hand and don't have the defensive ability that Gary has, I think Mark wins by knockout tonight. But it's Gary Russell, and the dude is highly, highly, highly skilled. So I hope that you guys appreciated and enjoyed and was entertained for this live stream tonight. I hope that for all those people who weren't able to watch the fight and was listening in to the commentary punch by punch, and I can't thank you much for that. We absolutely crushed it tonight as far as views and over 1,300 likes, which is record breaking for this channel, and that's a shout out to you guys, and more specifically, my long term subscribers, because you guys are the ones who open the gates and get the ball rolling, get the momentum coming. You guys are the first ones in here. You're the first ones hitting the like button. You're the first ones putting in the comments in the chat section. You're the ones who make the vibe, the energy, and to allow people to want to be a part of this. So I got to give a special shout out to all of the subscribers who came in early, who's been in this live stream for the entire fight. And of course, to my official channel members, thank you as well. And if anybody out there before I end this live wants to become an official member of the channel, all you got to do is, if you're on your phone, you might have to exit the live chat, and then you'll see an icon saying join. You click the join button. It's only a few dollars to become an official member. And then you're going to get access to exclusive videos, custom emojis, and it just shows your further appreciation to the channel. But nonetheless, clicking that subscribe button helps. Hitting that like button helps. And all 1,422 of you tonight who hit that like button are true boxing fans. You guys appreciate the sport. Even if you disagree with me, you appreciate the sport. You appreciate the hard work, the dedication, and the commentary. And I, in turn, appreciate you. For all of those who, Bon, hello from the Philippines. Well, hello from where I'm at. I'm actually in Thailand, so similar time zone for those who are in the Philippines right now. So hello to you. Mark Magsayo won the fight. He won. One judge had it 114, a draw, and the other two judges had it 115, 113 for Mark Magsayo. Mark Magsayo is now the new champ. And entertaining fight. I mean, it's like we knew coming in, right? Gary Russell's injured. How's it going to play out? And he actually was injured. He didn't look injured start of the fight, but obviously whatever injury he had in his shoulder, it flared up again. And he didn't throw his right hand for the remainder part of the fight. So basically 8 rounds, he didn't throw a right hand at all and was relying on a left hand of the body, left hand down the pipe, and he was landing it. He was landing it just enough to make it competitive, to make us feel like, I wonder where the scorecards are going to be. You know what I mean? And it comes out that I had it a draw, and one judge had it a draw as well. So I hope you guys appreciate, the way I judge and score fights, because usually it's pretty close to what the actual scorecards are. And I give credit for different reasons, especially when you have close rounds. Sometimes I credit the defensive fighter by being able to show their defensive abilities. And sometimes I give a round to the aggressor, the guy that's really pressing. And so I do that a little bit. We always want a clear round winner, right? But in boxing, it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes the round's super close. So you got to use your boxing knowledge and your intuitive nature to kind of give the benefit of the doubt to one or the other fighter. I mean, that's the way it is when it comes to judging a fight. So I got Raw Dog Prophet in here who just became an official member of the channel. I'm going to highlight there. Raw Dog the Prophet, man, I appreciate you, bro. Become an official member of the channel. That shows your appreciation. grabbing that supporter pack. So enjoy going forward, getting those exclusive videos for members only, and going forward having access to those custom emojis. And it looks like, I don't know, man, I got to make some new custom emojis because we have some new champions now. There's some new fighters on the rise now. I definitely should probably make a custom emoji for Boots, and possibly now for Mark Magsayo, man, because I think a rematch is on the horizon. Guys. So there you have it, man. Drop the member link, Divine. Let me try to grab it for you real quick, bro. If you're on your phone, you'll have to leave the chat. You'll have to exit out of the live chat, and then it'll be there and it'll say join. But I've heard that some people aren't able to see it. So let me go ahead and get that link for anybody else. If it's easier for you to go ahead and click that link, go ahead and drop it in there for you guys. But look, some of you guys have been in here literally from the very beginning of the live stream. And man, that just really, really shows your guys' appreciation of the commentary here. And like I said, man, I just can't thank you guys enough because, just not able to do it without you guys. But yeah, let me find this this membership link. It's been a while since I've been cruising around the okay, got it. All right, so let me go ahead and get that for all those people who, because I've heard people say that. Perfect. I've heard people say that they can't see the join icon button. So there it is. There's the link, guys. For any of you guys that want to become an official member, just like my man Raw Dog the Prophet, click that link. It's only a couple dollars donation to the channel every month to, like I said, get those exclusive videos and whatnot and have that VIP access. And yeah, guys, so I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to go ahead and cruise around YouTube a little bit to see who else was talking about the fight. I just saw Tay Jones going live. I think Stormy B-Man's probably live. And I'm just going to bounce around. You may see me on someone else's channel if you guys are going to be cruising around YouTube a little bit longer. But hey, yo, Rada, man, it'll be up on the channel later, bro. If you want to go through and rewatch the fight, and then just mute it and listen to my commentary. We had a few other people in here that were saying that they did that. They watched the fight, muted it, and just listened to my commentary. And that means a lot to me, man. That just really, really means a lot to me because I love doing this. I really do. But where in Thailand? I'm usually in Bangkok, but sometimes I'm on the islands down in the south. Just kind of depends. All right, Arturo, man. Everyone else, man, I appreciate you. We got up to over, I believe at some point, almost 4,000 people on this live stream. And the credit goes to the original long-term subscribers. And thank you for helping to grow the family, grow the voice, and most importantly, growing the voice of boxing. That's what's most important. All right, guys, if I don't see you on someone else's panel tonight, then I'll see you guys on my next live and or video upload. I appreciate you guys. Congratulations to Mark Magsayo, and I hope there's a rematch. Salute and peace.